This is something I've been thinking about recently a lot, and I just really want to put it out there, unfiltered, unedited. And I think it's a very, very important topic in what's happening today. And it's much deeper than simply people being on their phones all day and people consuming short form content all day. Although that is a part of it, but it's the idea of how art reflects what is happening today and how that is happening through content. And I've been thinking about this a lot recently, specifically in regards to Instagram, TikTok, and all of these mainstream mediums of content. And these are just my unedited, unfiltered thoughts. I just want to try something new and put this thought out there. And it's been about 2 months since I first made the decision to make the switch and permanently delete all my social media accounts: Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitter. Although I didn't really use Twitter, I just had it just to have it. And I think one of the next big changes that has to happen in the world is the change in content culture, to the point where all of these short form clips and all of this doesn't matter anymore, and we don't have to spend our time watching it because there's so much more value and so much more enjoyment that can come out of watching longer videos like this and unfiltered, unedited content. And you can't get that from all of these shorts, reels, and TikToks. Although that is a fast catalyst to growth. So I was grappling with that a lot since starting this YouTube channel. Is should I make a return back to Instagram and all those platforms simply just to post and advertise my content? And what I think is that there needs to be like a total change in content culture, to the point where that doesn't even have to cross someone's mind, and they can simply do what they love without having to promote it to the detriment of someone else's day. Because all of these platforms, especially TikTok, it's very easy, very fast to grow on that. But are you really making an impact on the world when you have, your tens of thousands of followers, your 20,000 followers on TikTok, when the whole purpose that someone is opening the app isn't to consume meaningful content, it's simply just to consume hours of their day? And that's why I think YouTube is great, because although it does have shorts, it's longer content, and that just brings more intentionality into it. And the question really is, if all of the world switches and abandons all of these short form mediums, Instagram, TikTok, and all of the above, how long will this last, and will it be, a positive change? Curious what you guys think, but I was grappling with that too, because whenever it's literally crazy. Anywhere you go, you see someone on their phone. If you see any of these recordings from concerts, everyone's on their phone. And part of that and part of all that problems is fueled by, these platforms. And maybe originally that's not how it was meant to be, but I think that it's much deeper than that. And I think at this point in time, YouTube is one of those platforms where the entertainment value or the content that you're putting out can actually be helpful to someone. And even if they're entertained, there's nothing wrong with being entertained, but it's different from watching, a movie compared to scrolling for an hour on Instagram. And yeah, so that's where my head's out now. I think it might be the play just to not post any short form content on any platform. I've taken down my Instagram page, my TikTok page, all of the above. And although maybe a caveat would be, would this be better if the scroll feature didn't exist? Possibly that could be the case because, for example, there can be videos that are shorter, but that is still much more impactful because you're not scrolling to the next video. Even if it's a 50-second video on YouTube, you're consciously clicking into that and knowing what you're getting into, and it's more of a real reaction. So I think this change in content culture is very possible and needed, and I think that is also what other people are thinking now at the moment, is that they realize that, all these platforms really aren't good for them. And even as creators, it really isn't good because if you want to like chase those numbers and chase those goals, you can still do that through longer platforms like this. And and I think you can also notice this trend that's happening as well if you simply look at the paradigm, which is Twitch, which is the polar opposite and much more long form than YouTube. People's entire days are being live streamed, and people are tuning into that because it's real, and there's power in real media. Nowadays, people are being entertained, and me personally too, I find it much more entertaining what is happening in day to day life, and I think as long as we're always stepping closer and closer to humanity and stepping closer and closer to actually bringing meaningful change to the world, then we're in a good spot. And I just think there's so many instances where that points red flags to those other platforms, which, then it leads to meaningless products that shouldn't exist, and then you're not even losing your time, you're also losing your money buying some weird special fork that, got billions of views, and therefore it's a good fork. And yeah, that was just my thoughts. I just want to put that out there, unedited, unfiltered, and if I could just ask you guys just one thing, it would be, what are your thoughts on that? Because I do think that might be the play, that might be the move or the meta, as they say today. And I'll try to stay off of posting short form content on any platform, even if it's going to be slower, consistent growth. I think over time that can have a compounded interest, just as in that famous book Atomic Habits, 1% better each day. So I think maybe this could be a shout in the wind. And even if it is a shout in the wind, I think if you do think the same thing, I think it is worth it to try. and to try to not only stop consuming this short content that is scrollable, but also to stop posting it. Because, you know, how can you say to someone to stop scrolling or stop spending hours on Instagram or TikTok a day if you yourself are contributing to that? And, you know, maybe it's not even as deep as I think it is. This is just something that I hope would stumble across your page, because I felt maybe you would resonate with the subject. Yeah. So pardon if that was some rambling, but just to essentially close that off, if you watch this far, is it's just simply not good. So why put any energy into it, and why even grow off of that if you know it's simply not good and it's not helping connect us as humans together? So it's not only that it should be consumed, but I don't even think it should be created. And that is another topic. Is there something that innately in itself could be fundamentally bad, like an apple or something of that sort? Yeah, those are my thoughts for now. Let me know if you have any other thoughts on that. That was just my thoughts that I want to put out there. By the time you're watching this, literally probably 2 seconds after, because super passionate about this topic. And yeah, so I'll try my best not to post shorter content, and hopefully, you know, that will be the move in the trajectory, because, you know, it hasn't always been that way. People have in the past been able to enjoy movies without going on their phone, and have been able to enjoy doing other things as well, and, you know, even enjoy doing the hard things. So yeah, thanks for watching so much. You know, if you want to see something more like this, feel free to subscribe. But if you don't, hey, have a beautiful day. God bless you, and, you know, let's just go keep doing it.